Hello everyone. Today I figured I would do a redo of my Werebear video, just with a slightly better camera and hopefully audio. So, first of all, I will restart with a recap of what the Werebears are. Now, they were a 1980s toy line, started in Liverpool by a man called George Nicholas, and they were originally designed so that boys could have a teddy bear without being bullied. So it was sort of like a boy's version of the Care Bears. There were four in the original set in 1983, sorry, and the smaller four you can see behind, in front of the orange one. So we've got Howler, Grizzler, Fang, and Gums, and the larger one on the back is Growler. Now, to make them more suitable for a boy-orientated audience, they were all given a sort of a gimmick where they would all have interchangeable or reversible faces. So as you can see here, they're all in their scary mode, and I will now transform them all separately for you. We'll have a proper look at them. So, to start with is what I've deemed to be the team leader. Something like that. This is Howler. As you can see, he's a light blue bear with nice yellow shorts, lovely red eyes, and a sort of a pinkish tan colour. Bright black claws, and white teeth, or ivory teeth, but yeah. And that's almost wet looking black nose. Now, to transform the bears, I'll start with his claws. First one I do is be the thumb in and push to flip the claws inside the hand. This pink section is on the flap, so you can just push that up in there, like that. And there he is without his claws. And then to do this, you push your fingers on it, thumbs on his ears, and repeat the same motion. You want to keep pushing on his ears until they poke out of that little hole there. And then you want to just continue to bring down the bear's face. Let me just squish him back into place a bit more. And there you can see, there is Howler in his Q mode. And yeah, he's very nice, cute looking bear. He's totally has a sort of pink eyes, again a little black nose, and he looks pretty standard as a generic little teddy bear. Next up is Grizzler, and you might notice, the only one wearing a t-shirt, which I thought was a bit weird, but either way. Now, so he is a yellow bear with, again, the sort of pinkish tan colour, and he doesn't obviously have shorts, but he has a white and green striped jumper and very, very green eyes. And transform him, he's identical. You put your thumb in and you flip his paw pads in, and do the same opposite side there, and you put your thumb on his ears, rotate them in, and just kind of squish his face in, because for some reason on mine he seems to like mid-transforming himself back to being scary. And again, there he is, fully kind of transformed, and yeah, sort of orangey pink eyes, cute little smile, but really unchanged. Now we come to Fang. And Fang, as you see, is a red bear with yellow accent and blue shorts. Also, another thing with Fang, the idea of his two brothers over this side, he only has one tooth. And obviously Gums has none. But yeah, Fang then doesn't have as many teeth as his brothers. And he has some sort of orangey red eyes. And again, his transformation is exactly the same. I think they all transform exactly identically. So yeah, you just fold in his arms, or rotate his paws in, sorry, and you just put your thumb back on his ears, rotate his head in, and just kind of squish his head inside the older head. Now that just kind of just flatten his hat a bit. Another odd thing with Fang. See there, he's got a nice little sort of schoolboy hat, which again further differentiates him from the scarier looking thing on this side. There's little Fang. And he has yellow eyes to match his yellow fur. And the last of the original four is his Gums. And Gums, as you can see, is named as such due to having no teeth whatsoever. He does, however, have claws still, so he isn't entirely useless. But he's a little navy blue bear, green eyes, yellow highlights, which is another odd thing with Gums. His markings aren't the same as any others. He's the only one with a third accent, and his cheeks aren't the same colour as his lips. And he also is the only one with a red nose. All the other bears, except Growler, all have black noses. But, yeah, and transform to Gums. Just, again, fold in his paws. And flip up his flat ears. And then you can see is Gums. Gums has a nice little sort of nightcap, bobble hat sort of thing on top of his head there. Just again to make it a little bit more different. Now, there are the four smaller werebears. Now, obviously in the back here, we have Growler. Now, Growler was released 3 years later in 1986 as a companion piece to a sort of a separate team of enemies for the werebears called the Terror-Turds. Now, I don't own all four Terror-Turds. I do, however, own the Growler. So, when I get the other two, I can review those for you. But either way, this is Growler. Now, he is obviously an orange bear, the same magenta-y pink colour that Gums has. Oh, it's going to fall over. He also doesn't like standing particularly well. And again, he has a red nose, and his eyes are actually the same plastic, but he only has a smaller iris, and a blue and a red nose. Now he has 4 teeth as well on him, and obviously you can see he's the only one standing up. So he's got a little trousers belt buckle there, and also this badge. Now this badge, when pressed, does this. Pressing that badge causes the bear to howl, which is one thing I couldn't do in my previous video about the werebears, where my Growler was currently broken. And that works. Going down to the back here, there's a little lever there, little Velcro strip, Velcro flap, and inside there, get it out, you just use a little 9-volt battery. And there's the on-off switch, right there. And again, Growler transforms just the same as his smaller friends. His transformation is slightly harder. It's the first paw. Another odd thing with Growler, as you may notice, on his paw here, he's got pink, whereas in this paw, it's orange. It's another weird inconsistency between the bears. Put the paw in, and flip his head once again in. And there you go. There is Growler in his cute mode. Now, another really odd thing with Growler is that, well, each bear came with a little cassette tape with a story, and each story was correspondent to the character they came with. And in Growler's story, it said that he's supposed to have a an orange cap, or blue cap, very similar to that of Fang's, except that his was completely blue, opposed to blue and yellow. For some reason, the bear probably never got it. But no, there's a little Growler. Well, as I literally, he's the biggest of the team. All 9 bears, he's the biggest. So there he is. And I think now I'll just kind of go review some of the story tapes I just mentioned, just while I prepare to close out the video. That's about it really for the bears themselves. So, in Growler's story, Howler's story, rather, Werebears hear that a ballerina is supposed to be kidnapped by a team of two criminals, and he then stops them by scaring them away. In Grizzly's video, there's a little boy who's kicked his ball into a building site that is guarded by two guard dogs. And in order to escape the guard dogs, they have to go up a elevator, or a lift, sorry. And Grizzler is not... Grizzler's scared of heights, so that fear causes his transformation from his cute mode, like he currently is, into scary mode like that. Get that back in, there you go. And as a werebear properly, he manages to scare off the guard dogs and retrieve the boy's ball. Fang's story is that some Italian jewel thieves are planning to buy the bears and stuff them full of jewels in order to ship their goods back into Italy. However, Fang managed to stop them by puncturing their tyre with his singular tooth. And police then catch them. And in Gum's story, the same evil men, Shifty Malone and Nasty Bygroves, same as the two men in Howler's story, attempt to kidnap a little girl using Gums as a incentive, I suppose. However, Gums does not like being shoved into Shifty's pocket, as he's claustrophobic, and like with Grizzler, that fear causes transformation to a werebear, and the two men are terrified of him, despite his no teeth. And then eventually they're taken into the police. And Growler's story. Growler's got a weird story, because his story basically involves that somehow the four werebears get back to their original creator, a man living in Bavaria, Egon Baconberger, or Baron Egon Baconberger. And they're lost in the forest. Now, the Baron then... Sorry about that, guys. The Baron then commissions help from the local witch in the forest to help him find the bears. Little does he know, however, that the witch plans to make her own team of bears in order to attempt to capture and kill the werebears, really. And once the bears have been found and murdered, Witch Hazel gains all of the Baron's belongings, money, shares, property, etc. So, to help rescue the werebears from their inevitable death, Baron builds Growler, a much larger, taller, stronger bear. And he's taught how to growl, hence his name. And even though, obviously, the toy howls. But yeah. And then he goes and saves the werebears from the Terror Heads. Then they're all caught on a ski drift. And yeah. He saves them all from the Terror Heads, and pretty much where the story ends for the werebears. And I'll talk about the Terror Heads in their own separate video at some point when I can buy the other two bears. I'm still missing Grunt and Snapper. But no, that I think will do it for this video, guys. I'll leave links to story tapes in the description below. And yeah. So thank you all for watching. Like, comment, subscribe if you wish. And I'll see you next time. Bye.